Time now is 6:30. Call this meeting to order. Land and Natural Resources and Cultural Preservation Committee. Today is September 12th, 2023. Invocation, I'd like to ask Representative Cloud if you'd offer that for us this evening.
Waidi haniwadi buski halwe alegitsat. Usanetida haniwadi omogada haniwadi tukalgi at hili dundo. Nagi omogada haniwadi nak bonaizi hania. Nagi bonhila hana marata sukfatra marata hizahani dundundo. Nagi haniwadi omogada yomida tukalgi at omogata intogoda ifuli zaknoa nagines. Unique nagines in humades. No imagoyes and nagides muwagata jindu dundo. Nagi omaga that Jimmy Dundon. Okay, go on.
Next we have is roll call Legislative Clerk Tracy Canola.
Joseph Hicks.
Here.
Charles McHenry.
Here.
Galen Cloud.
Here.
Gerald Proctor.
Here.
Nelson Harjo.
Here.
Chairman, you have 5 present and 0 absent.
5 present and 0 absent constitutes a quorum, and any business conducted this evening will be official. Next we have is approval of minutes for August 8th, 2023 and August 30th, 2023. Time to committee for a review and ask for a motion.
Chair, I make a motion that we approve all minutes with any necessary changes.
Motion been made by Representative Hicks to approve the minutes with any necessary changes.
Second.
Seconded by Representative Cloud. Roll call.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against. Those minutes have been approved. Down to order of business. First up, we have Muskego Creek Nation Ceremonial Ground Camp and Church Camp House Grant. We have Conchardi Methodist Church, Paul Tecumseh. Yes, we have your application. I just want to know if you have anything to add to what the application is.
No, sir.
No, nothing to add on that. Do we have any questions from the committee? I believe they're going with the contractor George Wilson for an amount of $98.75. Any questions from committee?
Chair, I make a motion to approve the Conchardi Methodist Church grant application.
Motion been made by Representative Hicks to approve the application.
Second.
Seconded by Representative Cloud. Roll call.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Chairman, you had 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against. That has been approved for $98.75.
No.
Next item we have is Muskego Creek Nation Emergency Assistance Grant for Broken Arrow Indian United Methodist Church, Christina McHenry. This one's for $21,357.94. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, yes, we're requesting this money, to replace the carpet and tile in our sanctuary. It is, 30-plus years old. It's, very worn down. The tiles all cracked up and, just broken in all sorts of different places. Yeah, it does become a hazard, so that's why we are requesting for this emergency fund. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Questions? Any questions from committee?
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Broken Arrow Indian United Methodist Church grant application.
Motion been made by Representative Cloud to approve the emergency assistance grant application,
Second.
seconded by Representative Hicks. Roll call.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Abstain.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
We have 3 in favor, 0 against, and 1 abstention.
3 in favor, 0 against, 1 abstention, and motion, or grant has been approved for $21,357.94. Next item we have is TR 23-094, a tribal resolution of Muskego Creek Nation authorizing the principal chief to apply for federal funding through the Bureau of Indian Affairs Tribal Transportation Bridge Program to fund 10 replacement bridges and 6 bridge constructions within the Muskego Creek Nation, sponsored Joseph Hicks.
Chair, make a motion to pass.
Motion for due pass by Representative Hicks,
Second.
second by Representative Cloud. Discussion.
Chair, we've got, Mr. David Ford here to
All right.
speak on this.
Yes, anyway, we're asking to apply for the federal for grants for bridge design on 10 and bridge construction for 6.
And the map you provided
That's the
us is
map.
where
Yes,
everything is
That's
listed.
the location of all of them.
Okay, all right, thank you. Any questions from committee? Questions? Any motion? Motion been made to approve, for due pass, so no questions. Roll call vote.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against. That motion passes. All right, thank you. Next item we have is TR 23-095, a tribal resolution of Muskego Creek Nation authorizing adoption of the 2023 and 24 conservation regulations of the Muskego Creek Nation. Sponsor is Galen Cloud.
Chair, make a motion to do pass.
Motion for due pass by Representative Cloud,
Second.
second by Representative McHenry. Discussion. I believe we got Jesse Allen coming down and tell us about this legislation.
Thank you, Chair. Trenton Kissy, he's out of town this week, so I'm here to speak on the conservation regulations. And according to Title 23, the Division of Ag and Natural Resources are to update the council each year on the conservation regulations for the hunting and fishing seasons. So this 2023-2024 conservation regulations, it updates the hunting seasons and fishing seasons for the upcoming year. So you can see the additions to your copy of the regulations.
Are there any changes? Any changes from previous? None?
No.
Yes. Any questions from committee? No questions? Roll call vote.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against, and motion passes. All right, thank you. Next item we have is NCA 23-075 substitute, allow Muskego Creek Nation authorizing an appropriation to the Muskego Creek Nation Tribal Construction Services in order to create the ramp assistance program. Sponsor is Charles McHenry, co-sponsors Robert Huff. This was postponed from August 8th, 2023. Committee? Yes, go ahead.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to do pass the substitute.
Motion for due pass by Representative McHenry on the substitute bill. Seconded by Representative Cloud. Discussion.
I believe we have Jesse Allen there, Brad Fox, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. I have Brad with me as well, but we spoke with Representative McHenry, and he agreed we made a change. We added in the language because we understand there's going to be instances, not everybody is going to have this occurrence where their door frame might need to be widened. But we added that language in there on those certain circumstances, we can utilize those funds to widen their door to make those accommodations for the ramp. We know that's not going to occur every time, but we wanted to have that language in there to allow for those instances.
Okay. All right, thank you. Questions? Questions from committee? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against, and motion passes. Will be forwarded to BF&J for funding. Next item we have is NCA 23-097, a law of Muskego Creek Nation authorizing an appropriation to the Muskego Creek Nation Facilities Department for water services provided for the Muskogee Creek Nation Industrial Park located in Okmulgee, Oklahoma. Sponsor is Joseph Hicks.
Chair, make a motion to pass.
Motion for due pass by Representative Hicks,
Second.
second by Representative Cloud. Discussion.
Chair got Mr. Silas Baker and Jesse Allen here.
All right, go ahead.
So as you can see in your resolution, earlier this year, we determined that the meter that is located right there on the corner of Gun Club and 75, where the industrial park is located, they had not been working. So the water had not been going properly through the meter properly, and I wasn't aware of it. Facilities wasn't aware of it. It became aware when there was a water break there along 75, and they were working on the water line, that they determined that the meter was not functioning properly. So we met with the city. They sent in an invoice back earlier this year, back in February, and they sent an invoice from 2008 to December of 22. So 14 years worth of water that had been going through there. I met with facilities, met with the AG's office, met with travel construction, and we determined that the earliest that water could have been used in that property, because it sat vacant for a long period of time.
Mhm.
Based on research that we gathered, it was 2014 was the starting point of when a facility was on that site that could utilize the water. So with the help of the AG's office, we negotiated with the city and determined that 2014 was the correct starting point for service. We agree that if we were using water, we should pay for water. And there are minimum amounts that you pay, like on your water bill. No matter how much you use, you'll pay this minimum amount. And so that was the number that was determined in these figures, in these monthly figures. So the new total for we're asking for tonight is $60,308. That's from January 2014 to December 22. And we have a new meter was installed, is working properly, and facilities is receiving monthly invoices for the water use. So we're current to this point. Feel as a good community partner, and we did utilize the water, that we should pay for this amount. We negotiated it as much as we.
Right, all right, thank you. You have anything to add on that? Pretty much said it all, didn't he?
Yeah.
All right, any questions? Questions from committee? Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. So the full amount was 20,905, and through negotiations, we got it down to 16,308? Okay.
All right, thank you. Any more questions? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Galen Cloud. Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against. That motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. That would also be forwarded to BF&J for funding. Next item we have is NCA 23-098, Allow Musco Creek Nation authorizing an expenditure for grant funds awarded from the United States Department of Agriculture for benefit of the Division of Agriculture and Natural Resources. Sponsor Galen Cloud.
Chair, make a motion to pass.
Motion for due pass by Representative Cloud, second by Representative Hicks. Discussion. Yes, Jesse?
Thank you, Chair. This is for a youth project to encourage trapping and support the nation's archery program through their Ag Youth department. We also put on a woodsmanship clinic for our youth with these funds and purchase more archery targets and supplies for students to practice and compete. So I know this past year and then this year, we've had a record turnout for the archery camp that we hosted. So we're looking forward to continuing to expand this program.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from committee? No questions? Roll call vote.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes. Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against. That motion passes. Next item we have is NCA 23-099, Allow Musco Creek Nation amending MCNCA Title 23 entitled Wildlife Code. Sponsors Galen Cloud. Motion for due pass by Representative Cloud,
Second.
second by Representative Hicks. Discussion. Yes, Jesse?
This is the Wildlife Code, Title 23, managed through the Division of Ag and Natural Resources. And we have just a couple updates, a definition of legal bait, a license, and then we include baiting in the description of the the code as well. So those are the only changes to the code at this time.
Okay, all right, thank you. Questions from committee? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against, that motion passes. Next item we have is NCA 23-100, the Law Musco Creek Nation authorizing an appropriation to the Office of Environmental Services for the lagoon closure at Duck Creek and Okema Casinos. Sponsor is Joseph Hicks.
Chair, I make a motion to pass.
Motion for due pass by Representative Hicks,
Second.
second by Representative Cloud. Discussion.
There we got Mr. James Williams up here
All right.
to speak on this.
Good evening, council.
Evening.
This is a project that we've been wanting to do for the longest time, and after we were able to close out the Fountainhead project, where we had the cleanup, if you look on this year-to-date budget, this one here, you'll see that we had some monies left over. Actually, we were going to try to use that money for the lagoon closures, but I was informed that I couldn't do that because this one was a cleanup and the other one's a closure. So there's two different legislation components that need to be worked on. So actually, we're going to turn this money back into Miss Killian at the finance department, what we had left. And the reason why we were able to do that is we used a lot of our tribal services at the cleanup. We used our office, the Environmental Services Office. We used the Arbor Care, and we used the Conservation Districts, some of their labor and expertise, and so that brought the cost down when we do it ourselves. So the actual contractual part of it was only, well, it's already off, but it was only 50-some thousand, so we saved a bunch right there. So we saved 50,000 by doing it ourselves. The same way with the lagoon closures. The lagoon closures at Duck Creek and Okema have been out of compliance for a while. There's no really good fencing. There's trees growing up in the berms. And the one in Okema, they haven't used it since they hooked up to the city water and sewer. So we need to go ahead and close them permanently. And the one at Duck Creek will be they're having some issues with their drip system up there in the casino because of I guess it's a good business that they're busy all the time, but at the same time, they got to have a good water and sewer up there. And so what they want to do is close that lagoon, but close it in a way they can use it to put an additional drip system in there. We said we could probably do that. But I've spoken with Brad Fox, the construction, to help us out a little bit. We'll use Arbor Care again and our guys too, so that'll bring the cost down. And then there's a commitment letter in there from the gaming fellas that they'll commit $100,000 to the project if we can just get the other 70 to finish off the project with. And I think we can do that cheaper than that, but I didn't want to leave anything out. I don't want to get to the end of it and have to come back for $5,000 or $10,000. I think we can do that and stay within that window of that budget.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Have any questions? Yes, go ahead.
James, could you, just because I'm not sure what it is, can you explain the drip system to me?
Drip system is it's an underground system that's connected with PVC pipe. Works in the premise that once that goes through there, it'll kind of feed out. It's kind of like a water hose that's got a lot of holes in it. When you water your own garden, turn the water on, and as it goes a little further, the holes just get a little bit bigger, so it travels all the way to the end. And drip system, it works about the same premise.
Okay.
It goes in there, and they have a whole bunch of them. Spider web effect underground. That's the best way of describing that, but that's technically that's how that works, that drip system underground, instead of going to a tank and then you have to aerate and all this good stuff. I don't think there wasn't enough room really at Duck Creek to aerate anything. There was so much affluent going in there, they were having problems with it because it's a lot of people in using that small space, so they're having to find other ways of doing it. Folks that put that in, I think they underestimated the total flow coming out of that casino, and so now that's why they're having problems with it. They put in too small of a PVC pipe, so now they're going to put a little larger in, which they should have did in the first place. But now they'll be able to start from scratch on this one on the north end of that property. As you'll see on that map, where the other drip system is in Duck Creek, if you can, there's a map there of where that's, there's an aerial map of the location, and it'll kind of show you where that other drip system is, if I can find it here. And there was two sets of pictures in there. One of them when the lagoons are in the winter stage, and then the other one is present day for like they're all green right now, and they're all greened up. But if you look at this one right here, it's an untitled map. It says Duck Creek Lagoon. It looks like this. One that looks like that. If you see where the lagoon is situated, that Duck Creek Lagoon, you'll see just south of there is where that drip system is, where there's no parking out there. You can't park on these. You can run a mower on them, a little zero turn, but you can't park trucks and cars because you'll crush all those lines. And so that's why they have it just like that. What they need is that extra space where that lagoon is to put that other drip system in.
Okay. Thank you.
Kind of where we're at.
Thank you, Chair.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
More questions? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Joseph Hicks?
Yes.
Charles McHenry?
Yes.
Nelson Harjo?
Yes.
Galen Cloud?
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against, and motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Forwarded to BF&J for funding. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That concludes the order of business. We're in other business. We had a discussion with Tribal Construction, but we'll be doing that one following. So no items in other business. Down to announcements. Do we have any announcements? GW will have a meeting at 8:30 in the morning. So we're down to a benediction and adjournment. I'd like to ask Representative Hicks to offer the benediction, which serves as our adjournment.
Prayer come to you not. Thank you for doing the business of the nation.
Adjourn 7 o'clock.